everyone. Today, we're exploring a question that has fascinated economists, historians, and political scientists for decades. Why do some nations thrive while others struggle? What are the secrets of prosperity that allow certain countries to innovate, grow, and provide a high quality of life for their citizens? In this episode, we'll delve into the ideas behind national success and failure, focusing on the critical role that institutions play in shaping economic and political outcomes. Imagine two neighboring countries with similar climates, cultures, and natural resources. Over time, one becomes a bustling center of innovation and prosperity, while the other faces persistent poverty and stagnation. At first glance, it might seem like geography or history alone explains this divergence. However, a Nobel-winning economist Daron Acemoglu suggests that the true secret lies in the institutions, the rules, laws, and norms that govern economic and political interactions. At the heart of prosperity is the idea of inclusive institutions. These are systems that provide a level playing field, encourage competition, and allow a broad segment of society to participate in economic activities. When people have secure property rights, access to credit, and the freedom to start businesses, they're more likely to invest in their skills, take risks, and innovate. Inclusive institutions also ensure that political power is distributed widely rather than being concentrated in the hands of a few. When a country's political system is open and accountable, it becomes easier to create policies that foster economic growth and development. Consider how, in societies with inclusive institutions, the benefits of economic activity are shared across the population. In these environments, citizens are motivated to work, invest, and innovate because they have a stake in the outcome. Entrepreneurs can launch new ventures without fear of arbitrary interference, and workers enjoy the rewards of their labor because their rights are protected. The result is a dynamic, evolving economy that adapts to challenges and harnesses opportunities for growth. In contrast, extractive institutions concentrate power and wealth in the hands of a narrow elite, stifling innovation and trapping large segments of the population in poverty. The success of a nation, then, often depends on whether its institutions empower people to contribute to and benefit from economic progress. A country with inclusive institutions is like a well-tended garden where every plant receives sunlight, water, and nutrients, allowing a diverse array of life to flourish. On the other hand, nations with extractive institutions are more like barren landscapes, where a few dominant elements control access to resources, leaving little room for the broader community to grow. History provides many examples of how institutions shape prosperity. Throughout the centuries, societies that have embraced open, competitive markets and protected the rights of their citizens have experienced periods of rapid growth and innovation. Think of the transformative eras of the Industrial Revolution, when the spread of technological innovations and entrepreneurial ventures radically altered the economic landscape. Countries that adapted and built institutions to support these changes reaped enormous benefits. In contrast, regions where power remained concentrated in the hands of a few have often seen little progress and persistent inequality. The role of institutions is not static. It evolves over time. For instance, during periods of revolution or reform, societies have sometimes succeeded in shifting from extractive to more inclusive institutions. These shifts can be transformative. When people feel that they have a voice in how their society is run, they are more likely to invest in education, technology, and innovation. Over time, this creates a virtuous cycle where increased prosperity fuels further institutional improvements, leading to even greater economic growth and social development. It's important to note that institutions aren't just formal organizations or laws. They also include informal norms and cultural attitudes that influence how people interact. Trust, for instance, is a key ingredient in successful societies. When people trust each other and their leaders, they're more likely to engage in trade, invest in new ventures, and collaborate to solve common problems. This trust isn't built overnight. It's the result of decades or even centuries of stable, inclusive governance. On the flip side, when institutions are corrupt or arbitrary, trust erodes, and economic and social activity suffers. Another critical factor is the balance of power. In inclusive systems, political power is distributed across different groups and institutions, making it harder for any one entity to monopolize decision-making. This balance ensures that policies are more likely to reflect the needs of the broader population rather than a narrow elite. When power is too concentrated, it often leads to policies that favor the few at the expense of the many, creating social and economic imbalances that hinder long-term growth. Today, we see these dynamics playing out on a global scale. Some of the world's most prosperous nations boast transparent governments, strong legal frameworks, and robust market economies that empower their citizens. Meanwhile, many countries facing persistent poverty and slow growth struggle with institutions that are marked by corruption, cronyism, and unequal distribution of power. The contrast is stark, and it highlights the importance of institutional quality in determining a nation's fate. Of course, it's not all black and white. Even in countries with relatively inclusive institutions, challenges remain. Globalization, technological change, and shifting political dynamics constantly test the resilience of these systems. Moreover, the transition from extractive to inclusive institutions is often a long and difficult process, fraught with conflict and uncertainty. But the overall pattern is clear. When institutions work for the people, nations tend to prosper. And when they fail to do so, stagnation and inequality often follow. For those of us living in prosperous societies, it might be easy to take these benefits for granted. But understanding the underlying institutional dynamics is essential, not just for policymakers, but for all citizens. When we recognize that prosperity is not an accident, but the product of deliberate choices and effective governance, we can better appreciate the importance of accountability, transparency, and civic engagement. It reminds us that sustaining prosperity requires continuous effort and vigilance. In our daily lives, we might not see the grand institutions at work, but their effects are all around us. From the efficient services we enjoy to the innovation that drives our economies, the structure of our society is a testament to the power of inclusive institutions. And it's a reminder that building and maintaining these systems is an ongoing process, a collective effort that involves everyone, from government leaders to ordinary citizens. As we look to the future, the challenge will be to continue refining our institutions so they can adapt to new technologies, demographic shifts, and global pressures. It's a tall order, but history has shown us that societies are capable of remarkable transformations when they come together with a shared vision for progress and equity. The hope is that by learning from the past and understanding the factors that drive prosperity, we can build a future that offers opportunity and dignity for all. In closing, the secrets of prosperity lie not in natural resources or geographic luck, but in the institutions we create and nurture. They are the backbone of a thriving society, enabling innovation, ensuring fairness, and fostering trust among citizens. As we continue to debate and develop policies, it's crucial to focus on building institutions that serve the many rather than the few. This is the real path to sustained, equitable growth, a path that promises a better future for all. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of what drives national success and prosperity. I hope today's episode has given you a clearer picture of why some nations thrive while others struggle, and why the quality of institutions matters so much. Until next time, stay engaged, keep questioning, and remember that the future is built on the choices we make today.